So Stephen Miller went on CNN to do his best Mitch McConnell impression by going full blue screen, you know, spinny wheel of death like Windows XP after downloading the wrong porn file off of LimeWire. And he had that reaction all because he said the quiet part out loud, which is impressive because even quoting Hitler has never been the quiet part for Stephen Miller. If you haven't seen it, here's the clip.
You've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue.
That's not a technical difficulty. That is the look of a man shitting his pants. Now, some of you may not be familiar with what plenary authority means, and then that's okay. My friend Miriam's gotcha. It means a complete, absolute, and unqualified authority. And while Cankle's Caligula is a completely and absolutely unqualified authority, that's not what this means. What he accidentally said here is that the president has complete, unquestioned authority to tell the U.S. military to do anything he wants them to do. And that is bullshit. See, right after we fought a whole war on the principle of telling a king to fuck off, the founders gave us a separation of powers in government so no one person would have king-like authority. So this is why it takes an act of Congress to declare war. This is why the judicial branch, judges, get to block unlawful acts by the president. Like when he tries to send the National Guard from other states to go occupy American cities. And there's damn sure nowhere in the Constitution that uses the words plenary, unqualified, absolute, any word of the sort, authority over the military. In fact, quite the opposite. Title 10 in the Constitution, as well as numerous other places, very specifically outline what the president can do with the U.S. military. And even within the limited scope where the president can federalize the National Guard and carry out domestic operations on U.S. soil with it, there are even further limitations within the execution of him doing that. See, governors are the commander-in-chief of their National Guard, so the president needs to go through the governor to give the orders to federalize them. And per the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution, you cousin fucking cosplatrious remember the Constitution, right? It's that document where that "We the People" sticker came from that you were so fond of you stuck it in the back of your clapped out gender affirming Ford. So you just need to go ask the one guy in the trailer park who can kind of read the rest of the document for you. Not even the rest in this case, just down to the 10th one. This is the States' Rights Amendment. You know, the same amendment you dumb motherfuckers used to justify committing a terror attack and starting a war so you could own people. You know, because you all are such insufferable losers that you needed the government to legally make other people inferior to you to make you feel better about how pathetic you are. That amendment means that the president can't force a governor to follow his orders. See, what happened here when Stephen Miller froze like Grindr does every time Republicans get together is the last canary in our coal mine. He has clearly been talking repeatedly about how the president should have authoritarian power over the military. What these MAGA molesters have been doing over the past decade is slowly normalizing more and more radical and batshit ideas, one little step at a time. So all of these toothless two brain cells fighting for bronze bumfucks are like the frog in the boiling pot of water, getting more and more used to ideas that they would never have been able to stomach, which is why we've worked for, you know, just building the wall and then increasing ICE and Border Patrol and then sending ICE into everywhere and now sending the National Guard into towns, but just after the illegal brown people, getting them okay with each of these things that are absolutely government overreach to the point where now plenary authority was the final solution, figuratively and probably literally. It's why Fox propaganda has been changing the rhetoric to talk about children in these ICE raids that have been put in danger and zip-tied and handcuffed and separated from their parents as human shields being used to protect, you know, illegal Venezuelan gang members that don't really exist. You see, because inevitably when ICE or the military that is occupying these U.S. cities shoot a child, and they know that this would cause outrage even from likely the most ardent branch Dumbvidians, they're trying to create the rhetoric and the narrative now to justify that eventual inevitability by saying that these people were just being used as human shields by these dangerous illegals, and it's not really ICE's fault, it's not really the National Guard's fault, it's those mythical illegal gang members' fault. And ICE and the National Guard have to be in these cities because they need to be defended from these dangerous terrorists, so that justifies ignoring the law completely, and any collateral damage that happens from your actions is their fault. And if you don't believe me that this is exactly what they're doing, just look at Israel, because Israel is using the exact same propaganda in real time. We had to blow up this school, we had to blow up this hospital, we had to level this apartment building, we had to murder all of the people in this refugee camp because Hamas was hiding there and they were just using these people as human shields, so it's really Hamas's fault. Remember how Antifa is a terrorist organization now? They're literally just like Mr. Bean over here copying Bibi's homework on this whole propaganda campaign. Because just like they blame Hamas for killing children and blowing up hospitals and doing all of that stuff, they are going to do the same thing here, and they are going to blame Antifa. And the next ingredient in the recipe they stole from Bibi was to add planetary authority and turn up the temperature. However, just like when Nazi Nosferatu watches other men bang his wife, he was a little premature there, and that's why he froze. Because he added it too soon, and now he's afraid that he's gonna burn dinner and the frog is going to jump out of the pot. So for the love of God, guys, jump out of the fucking pot, because if we sit here any longer, we are cooked. If the president is able to execute plenary authority over the U.S. military on U.S. soil, that is it, guys. There's no more checks and balances after that. There's no more off-ramps after that. That's boxcars, that's gas chambers, that's show me your papers, that's barbed wire at the borders, that's hiding children in attics whose diaries will be read by your grandchildren in history class, where they will raise their hand and ask their teachers, how did they ever let this get this far? How did they let this happen? We've been warning you about this for years. This is where it's going. Stephen Miller just confirmed it by accident, and he knew it. That's why he froze. It has gotten to the point where it is them or us, and if we freeze now, it will be us.